So, a while ago, there's this old boy at this golf course called Hubert. My golf course, not this golf course. And he had Parkinson's disease. Well, when I first met him, he didn't, and we used to chat loads about finance and stuff. He was some big businessman that I didn't really know about at the time. We'd talk about finance, and then when he started getting into finance, I looked into what he did, and he was head of some massive insurance broker. Rich as Croesus, Hubert, it would seem, but you'd never guess it at all. He was simple as they came and stingy, like most rich people from the north of France. People up here are like the jocks, but just a lovely man. Anyway, cut a long story short, which I won't do. Poor chap caught Parkinson's. Went slowly at first. I could still remember the day as if it's yesterday, when he came to reception, and went to pay for something and couldn't get the money out of his wallet anymore, and I had to do it for him, and I broke my heart is a big expression, but I did cry. I'm even thinking about it, brings a tear to it was a horrible day. Anyway, after that it was pretty quick. He he stopped playing golf, and was dead within 6 months, I think. Really lovely chap. I was talking to a friend of his about a year later, which is just after I got into archery, and he said, "Oh, our old mutual friend." Well, the guy I was talking to was a shooter, hunting with rifles and shotties and stuff, and that's how we got onto the subject. And he said, "Well, our old friend Hubert was a massive bow hunter." I said, "No shit." And he used to go on trips to Africa. He used to go all around the world bow hunting, and his missus used to film him. But he also used to go rabbit shooting on the golf course with Frank, the guy who makes my arrows for the recurve here, who's got the only archery shop in the area. And Frank said, "Well, Hubert would go anywhere. I'd take him out pheasant shooting and crap in my local fields and stuff. He was just over the moon to be out with a fucking bow and arrow in his hand shooting stuff." After this, I bumped into, well, his widow's still at the golf course. She's still a member there, and she is a lovely person as well. So I saw something and I said, "Oh, by the way, Mushti told me that Hubert was a bow hunter," and we got into talking about it, and blah blah blah. A couple of weeks later, she rocks up with a smile on her face, says, "I've got a present for you." And I got all excited all of a sudden. I thought, "Oh my god, I'm going to get some really fucking exotic African traditional bow that's great for hunting, or I can get some piece of like 1970s American exotica." She rocked up with a 26-pound plastic kiddie's bow, ambidextrous one. 26 is around the wrong way for you. And I was like, bollocks at the time, really. But it's ambidextrous, so every now and again I quite like practicing a left-handed shot. It's bloody useless for trying to like aim. You can't shoot anything with it, as you can see from those three I've just done. But I'm not really interested in where they're going. What I'm interested in is the form and what I can do with it, and trying to get some kind of decent form while increasing my draw length as well. So I've stuck some duct tape around these piddly little arrows at 27 inches because I'm trying to get to 26.5 with the recurve, and if I can just get into the system of dropping that scapula, and I'm also trying to pick the golf ball off the shoulder thing, because that makes an awful lot of sense. And my follow through is up here somewhere, whereas his is down here, Tom Clum Senior, which seems sensible as well, and it feels good. So in fact, Hubert's done me a massive favour, because now instead of just warming up this before each session, which I do, it's very handy for that. So I think about him every time I shoot anyway, because I use it to warm up with, just without arrows, just stretching out with it. It's actually, I think, going to be a massively good aid to finding form. So things happen in mysterious ways, and Hubert obviously recognised that at some stage I was desperate. He's probably watching me shooting from up there going, or wherever he is, thinking, fuck me, what he really needs is that 26-pound bow, and put the idea in his widow's head. There we go, that's my story about Hubert and my 26-pound bow, and jolly pleased that I've got it. I'm going to have a look at this and see. I think because I felt it click past that masking tape on the thing, I think I actually got that. It's just a question if I've got there in any form, so I'm going back to look at that.